welcome everyone to another webinar with me. I'm Taryn Stein. I'm an eating behavior coach and confidence coach. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk to you about how to make over your home for nutrition and your health. So I'm going to switch over to my slides so you can see them and we'll get started. Alrighty, I hope you can see my slides. So as I said, I'm a wellness and confidence coach, and I teach women how to rebuild a healthy relationship with food and their body so they can rock a healthy and confident life. And what we're going to focus on today is how to change our environment in terms of your home in order to support your wellness goals. So your kitchen might be working against your waistline in many ways that you don't even know about, right? And by making simple changes to your culinary cookhouse, you can influence how you eat and what you eat, and that therefore transform your health. Now, it's just not your kitchen. We're also going to talk about your bedroom and then delve a little bit deeper into the pantry and the fridge as well. And there's actually been a lot of research that shows that using behavioral economic principles in health can have the result of subtly changing your environment. For example, your kitchen, which makes it easier to stick to healthy habits. And this principle, or this behavioral economic theory, is called nudge theory. And basically what it does is it subconsciously nudges us towards making healthier choices and therefore a healthier lifestyle. So it's easier to become healthy by design, by readjusting your environment, than by willpower, by telling yourself you can't have this, you can't have that. Because design you change once. You change the layout of your house or your kitchen only once, but willpower you have to use again and again and again. And that's what's so hard, right? For the rest of your life, day in and day out. And so the idea is just to make these healthy options easier, like the easier option, rather than denying ourselves and saying we can never have the M&M cookies. What we want to do is we want to make the piece of fruit or whatever that is a much easier, healthier choice to have. Because let's face it, we all have enough to deal with in our busy lives. So where we can, we'll always take the easier path or the easier option of less resistance. So we might as well make it a healthier path that's easier, right? All right, so let's start in the kitchen. And this is just your kitchen overall, the basics of your kitchen. So think about your own kitchen, or if you're sitting near it, have a look around. Do you have piles of mail or keys or gadgets in the kitchen? Well, these aren't doing your healthy eating any good, right? Researchers have found that having a cluttered environment means people eat 44% more snacks than those in a clutter-free environment. So resist the urge to use your countertops as drop-off places for dirty dishes and life's daily stuff like keys, batteries, pieces of paper, etc. Try and relocate those small appliances as well. Instead of having them all on the counter, try and put them in the pantry or in cupboards when you're not using them very often. Or do a clean out and get rid of the non-essential countertop decor that you have. Anything that's surplus that's sitting on your counters you don't ever use, put it away, get rid of it, and make your counters as clutter-free as possible. And remember, whatever you do keep on the counter, make sure it's functional, right? And that it's essential to your cooking or your day-to-day eating, such as a cutting board, or a bowl of fruit, or a spice rack. These are all great to have on the kitchen counters. And then you can allow yourself one junk drawer, right, where you can throw in your random stuff like spare batteries, pens, paper clips, pieces of paper, post-it notes, all that stuff that we just seem to accumulate. Put it in your one random drawer. Because it's not about being perfect, right? We have to be able to live in our houses, and especially if we've got kids, it gets messy. And that's fine, that's life. But we want to try and clear it as much and have that space, that drawer that's out of the way, that we don't constantly have to see it, on the countertops. This is going to give you that perfect healthy balance of being clutter-free, but also functional. Now, Keeping your kitchen counters free from clutter and tempting snacks. Hello, cookie jar. That has that out of sight, out of mind feel to it. This is what we're aiming for. And that's not to say that you can't ever have a cookie, that we're not allowed to eat those. We're never allowed to have them in the house. That's not true. But remember, we are visual creatures, right? And when our appetite gets stimulated by what we see, that's what we want to eat, whether we're hungry or not. So we want to put those things out of sight. And also, when you're in a rush or you just want to grab and go something when you're heading out the door, you want something that's easy access. And if there's a cookie jar on the counter, you're going to grab the cookie. If there's a fruit bowl on the counter, you're going to grab a piece of fruit. So why not make it a healthier choice? And what they found, researchers found, that people who have fruit bowls on their counters on average weigh 13 pounds less than someone who doesn't, right? And that's just because of that easy access. Oh, I'm hungry or I'm peckish. What can I eat? I see the banana on the counter, or I see the donut or the cookie or the nuts, right? You're going to choose the things that you can see most often. And if you have a windowsill or window space, why not fill it with fresh herbs or a herb box that's easy to reach in your cooking. That way you're using less salt and you're reaching for some fresh herbs and spices to flavor your foods, and they look great on the kitchen counter, right? They're simple to grow. It gives your kitchen a decorative yet functional feel to it. And remember, colors are also important. So colors and lighting can affect the way that you eat. Soft lighting and darker rooms provide too much of a comfortable environment where you just want to linger for a little bit longer, maybe have that extra helping or a spontaneous dessert or another drink, right? That's why restaurants provide this cozy vibe so that you stay a little bit longer and you eat a little bit more. But in your kitchen, you want to reverse that. So bring up the lights, make it brighter. And when it comes to the wall colors, you want to try and aim for a neutral. Neutral means that we're calmer when we eat slower, and it doesn't hype up our senses too much. So remember, neutral is nutritional. And according to Feng Shui principles, a neutral kitchen actually brings stability and harmony to your cooking space, which is exactly what we want when we're eating, right? All right, so let's move on to the fridge and see what kind of hacks we can do here. So you are 3 times more likely to eat the first food you see in the cupboard or the fridge than the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth, right? That's crazy. Food manufacturers also know this, and they know it so well that they use this in the grocery store all the time. So next time you're in the grocery store, I want you to walk down an aisle, say like the cereal aisle, and see how many sugary kids cereals are on lower shelves at eye level of the kids and an easy little hand reach of kids, right? They're aimed for children, so they put them at their eye level. So what can you do at home? Well, make sure that your healthy foods are the first ones you see, and then put your crisps, your cookies, your chocolates at the back. Again, it's an extra little effort to try and reach for them, never mind what you're looking at, right? So aim to keep your fresh produce, such as vegetables, dairy, lean meats, and healthy snacks at eye level in your pantry and fridge. And use the drawers, the opaque drawers that you have in your fridge for the less healthy foods. Again, out of sight, out of mind. You can also keep your unhealthier foods such as your candy, your chocolates, your cookies, your sodas on higher shelves in your fridge and your pantry. So like I said, you've got to stretch, you've got to reach up to try and grab them, right? It's a little bit more effort. And if you're short like me, you probably have to get a little step ladder too. So remember, when it comes to healthy choices, think location, location, location. It's so important. And then being prepared and prepping and planning ahead not only saves you time and money in the long term, but it also stops you from reaching for those spontaneous snacks or having too many takeout meals too often. Right? When you get a little bit organized and you plan your meals for the week, and you can batch cook them and batch freeze them, it is way more convenient. and it also sets you up for the week, being much more prepared. So write down all your important meals for the week on a kitchen chalkboard, so that all the family members can see what goodies are coming up, and get the kids involved as well with meal plan suggestions. You can make it super fun, like Taco Tuesdays, and let them come up with some creative ideas for your meals and get them involved in the cooking. Smaller kids can stir things, older kids can chop things. So if you're going to do a batch cooking day, if you like, on a weekend, get them involved, make it fun. Now, the important thing also when you're freezing things is make sure you put labels and dates on what it is, or write on the Ziploc bag, so that you know exactly how long you can keep it for. Usually with your pre-made meals, you can keep them up to a month or 3 months, depending on what it is. But make sure you date them so you know exactly when you've put them in the freezer. And then these home-cooked frozen meals, they're a lot more healthy because you've cooked them from home, from scratch. You know exactly what ingredients are going into them rather than buying store-bought convenience or frozen meals. And this can help make your healthy meal choice a lot less stressful, a lot less busy, especially on those crazy days when you're just like, oh, I don't have time, or I just can't be bothered to cook. Makes it so much easier. Okay, moving on to the pantry. So we've spoken about this top shelf, putting the candy, the crisps, and treats on the hard-to-reach top shelves. This not only goes for your fridge, but your pantry as well. Now, there's another trick that you can use where you use opaque or frosted jars for your less healthy foods. So actually, there was a lady called Jennifer Kukolski, I think I've said her surname right, and she was head of people analytics at Google. And she actually helped overhaul their employee eating habits by using a carrot instead of a stick. Now, what I mean by that is she used one of the principles of behavioral economics to really entice people to choose healthier options without taking away the unhealthy option. So what they did is they continued to offer Googlers free snacks such as M&Ms, but they moved them from clear jars to opaque jars, while keeping the healthy snacks such as nuts or fruit in clear jars or bowls. And although the candy was still available, right, a Googler could still go take the M&Ms, go get the M&Ms. They weren't denied the M&Ms, but now they were hidden, right, in an opaque jar. So visually, it wasn't the first thing they saw, and they had to go searching for them. So it meant a little bit more effort. And this resulted in a staggering 3 million fewer calories from eating this candy in less than 2 months in their New York location alone. And that's a staggering amount of change. And you can use the same principles in your own home, right? Get some opaque jars or frosted jars that look elegant and use those for your candy, for any of your crisps, your cookies, all your less desirable, less healthy foods that you want to keep a little bit out of sight or out of mind, because it still looks elegant in your pantry, but they're not visually exposed as much. And remember, put them on the top shelf, because that little bit of extra resistance makes it harder for us to choose those foods. These are simple and effective, and yet there's still no diet deprivation. This isn't about saying you can never have those foods in your house anymore, right? It's just these tiny little tweaks and hacks to your environment. And then finally, don't forget to toss out any expired foods or tinned or canned foods. Even if you haven't used it in the last year, toss them out, because they're just adding clutter to your pantry. Okay, now let's move on to the bedroom. And this is important in terms of nutrition. It might seem a little bit of a weird connection, but there's so much research that shows that when we sleep badly, so we have poor sleep or poor quality sleep or not enough sleep, it affects the way that we eat. And the reason is, when you don't get enough good quality sleep, it throws your hormones out of whack, as well as your appetite hormones. And that means you spend a lot of the next day propping your energy levels up with sugary type foods. Those are the foods we go for because we're so tired. It's really hard to make healthy choices or decisions because our brains are so tired. And on top of that, we just want a little boost of energy. How do you get that? From sugary foods, right? So there's a direct correlation between poor sleep and unhealthy eating. So we want to flip that. So if you know that this is you, you're constantly tired, you know you're not sleeping well, it's time to have a look at your bedroom environment. So first off, ensure that you're not disturbed by light that comes through street lamps or early morning sunshine. So make sure you've got blackout curtains or really dark curtains that kind of block the lights and keep your room dark. That's really important. Avoid any distractions such as pets waking you up at 2 a.m. If you do have pets that sleep with you, maybe it's time to change their sleeping arrangements so that they're not waking you up in the middle of the night. If they do. Your bedroom should be a relaxing space, free from a TV screen and any clutter because TV screens actually disturb your sleep, and clutter just adds to that stress, your stress cortisol levels. And so we want it to be a nice, comfortable, calm and relaxing space. Before you go to sleep, turn off all your screens at least 30 minutes before you go to sleep. And that includes your computers, your iPhones, your tablets, anything that can disrupt your sleep patterns. And then finally, make sure that it's at a comfortable temperature. So that depends on where you live in the world, but here in Cayman, where we live, it's very humid. So we want to make sure that the temperature of the room is cool enough. And actually research shows that a cool room temperature and total darkness can improve sleep and reduce hot flashes. So really important to make sure that environment is relaxed, calm, and that you're getting good quality sleep to help your nutrition and your eating goals. All right, I hope that was helpful. I've been Taryn, Stein, and if you have any questions, you can ask me at taryn@mindshiftme.com. I am always available to chat about any nutrition questions that you might have. I hope these hacks have been helpful to you. And my challenge for you is to implement at least one, whether that's in your kitchen, pantry, fridge, or bedroom, at least one new hack this week, or declutter and rearrange your fridge and your pantry so that you are setting yourself up for healthy goals. Thanks very much. Looking forward to speaking soon.